Virginia Rappe attended a party hosted by Fatty Arbuckle on Labor Day, accompanied by her friend Maud Delmont. After consuming significant amounts of alcohol, Virginia became seriously ill, suffering from intense abdominal pain for 3 days, which ultimately led to her death from peritonitis caused by a ruptured bladder. Following her passing, Delmont filed a complaint against Arbuckle on the following Monday, leading to a murder charge against him. The specifics of what occurred between the two in room 1219 remain shrouded in controversy. Details regarding their interactions are unclear, with various accounts surfacing that complicate the narrative. Witnesses offered differing testimonies, each adding layers to the investigation. The sensational nature of the case, combined with the challenges of establishing definitive truths, drew significant media attention. Explore the unfolding drama and share your thoughts in the comments. If you find this intriguing, consider becoming part of our community by subscribing. Overcoming dire beginnings, Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle emerged as a powerful force in early Hollywood, capturing hearts and laughter with his distinctive physical comedy. Born into poverty, his childhood was fraught with hardship, yet this only fueled his determination to succeed. As he honed his skills in vaudeville, his unique blend of humor and engaging personality set him apart, allowing him to rise rapidly in the silent film industry. In 1918, Arbuckle signed a groundbreaking $3 million contract with Paramount Pictures, a remarkable feat that made him the highest-paid actor in the world at that time. Following in the footsteps of the iconic Charlie Chaplin, his impact extended well beyond his performances, as he also took on the role of mentor to emerging stars like Buster Keaton, showcasing his generosity and vision for film. Additionally, he utilized the pseudonym William Goodrich to direct, further demonstrating his multifaceted talents. However, his soaring success faced a tragic turn when the scandal involving Virginia Rappe's death not only tarnished his legacy, but also halted his flourishing ascent in Hollywood, forever altering the trajectory of his life and career. Born in 1895 in Chicago, Virginia Rappe's early life was marked by hardship and loss. The death of her mother left her in the care of relatives, thrusting her into a world of instability and poverty. Despite these challenges, Virginia displayed a strong desire to rise above her circumstances. Her early interest in fashion and the arts blossomed into a successful modeling career in the vibrant art and advertising scene of early 20th century Chicago. Her striking looks and graceful demeanor caught the attention of many, allowing her to work as a model and earn a comfortable living. Driven by ambition, Virginia moved to San Francisco and then to Los Angeles with the hope of becoming a film star. In Hollywood, she gained recognition not only for her beauty, but also for her passion for fashion, taking on roles as a dress designer while pursuing small film parts. Her connections with various film personalities showcased her determination to ascend within the male-dominated industry. Although her career was just beginning, she was already seen as a promising figure in Hollywood's emerging landscape, dreaming of solidifying her place as a leading lady. On the weekend of Labor Day in 1921, Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle rented several rooms at the luxurious St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco to celebrate a break in his film schedule. The gathering included fellow actors, friends, and showgirls. Despite prohibition being in effect, bootleg alcohol flowed freely, creating a lively atmosphere. Virginia Rappe, accompanied by her friend Maud Delmont, was part of the festivities. Initially, the mood was festive and carefree, a classic Hollywood party scene. However, as the day unfolded, the vibes took a dark turn. Witnesses later described Virginia as visibly unwell after being alone in room 1219 with Arbuckle. Her condition quickly deteriorated, marked by severe abdominal pain and persistent vomiting that lasted several days. Despite the efforts of hotel staff and friends to care for her, Virginia was eventually hospitalized and died 4 days later. Her death was attributed to a ruptured bladder and subsequent peritonitis. The events surrounding room 1219 ignited widespread speculation and a media frenzy, especially after Maud Delmont accused Arbuckle of assault. The scandal became one of the earliest and most sensational controversies in Hollywood, casting a long shadow over the film industry and prompting public outrage, moral panic, and calls for reform within the motion picture world. Eyewitness Maud Delmont, a friend of Virginia Rappe, became a central figure in the scandal that surrounded Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. Her testimony painted a vivid picture of a disturbing scene in room 1219 at the St. Francis Hotel. Delmont claimed she heard horrifying screams from behind a locked door, compelling her to force her way inside. What she alleged to have seen was shocking Virginia Rappe, in evident distress, lying on the bed and writhing in pain, clutching her stomach. Arbuckle, according to Delmont, stood nearby in pajamas, wearing what she described as a sinister grin. Delmont vividly recalled Virginia's cries, "He hurt me, I'm dying," words that resonated throughout the trial and captured public attention. This claim became a key element in framing Arbuckle as a monstrous figure in the eyes of the public. However, as the investigation unfolded, questions arose about Delmont's reliability. Inconsistencies in her statements and her background, which included a history of blackmail, emerged, leading many to doubt her credibility. Despite these concerns, her account significantly influenced the media's portrayal of the incident and shaped the legal proceedings against Arbuckle, creating a storm of public outrage and intrigue that lasted for months. Following Virginia Rappe's collapse at the party, those present, including Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle, tried to assist her, though their lack of medical knowledge led to a series of ill-advised actions. Among the most concerning was the attempt to revive her with an ice bath. Some witnesses claimed that Arbuckle became frustrated with Virginia's screams and even threatened to throw her out of the window if she did not stop, though this claim was never proven in court. As her condition deteriorated, 2 doctors were called to examine her, but they both failed to recognize the seriousness of her internal injuries. It wasn't until Dr. Arthur Beardsley intervened and inserted a catheter that the rupture of her bladder was discovered. Unfortunately, this diagnosis came too late. The damage had already caused peritonitis, a fatal infection that spreads quickly and requires immediate surgical intervention. The suggestion that the rupture was the result of blunt force trauma fueled suspicions and heightened the debate about whether her injuries were accidental, caused by mistreatment, or the result of something darker. This tragic event and the misdiagnosis that followed ignited a larger public controversy and added to the mystery and confusion surrounding Rappe's death. Instead of being admitted to a general hospital with emergency resources, Virginia Rappe was taken to Wakefield Sanatorium, a small, private maternity hospital known for its quiet yet controversial reputation. Rumors suggested this place catered to women seeking discreet medical procedures, including abortions, raising troubling questions about its role in Virginia's last days. Fear of exposure likely influenced the decision to choose Wakefield over a full-service hospital. This fear stemmed from the illegal alcohol served at the party where she had fallen ill, along with concerns about the reputations of those involved. At Wakefield, Virginia received morphine to ease her pain, but her health showed little improvement. As the days went by, she grew weaker and increasingly incoherent. Her cries of pain echoed as the infection spread aggressively through her abdomen. By the morning of September 9, 1921, she fell into a coma and soon after was pronounced dead. The death certificate cited peritonitis due to a ruptured bladder as the cause, marking a tragic end that might have been prevented had she received timely and adequate medical care. The secrecy surrounding her treatment only deepened the confusion, introducing layers of complexity to a heart-wrenching story. The day after Virginia Rappe's death, Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was arrested and initially charged with first-degree murder. However, he was soon released on his own recognizance, largely due to his celebrity status and the uncertainty of the evidence. Despite this temporary freedom, Arbuckle's life spiraled out of control as the media seized the opportunity to turn the tragedy into a full-blown scandal. Newspapers across the country sensationalized the story, filling their front pages with exaggerated and often distorted headlines. The combination of Hollywood glamour, alleged sexual violence, bootleg liquor, and a tragic death made for the perfect tabloid fodder. In the public eye, Arbuckle was quickly cast in the roles of both a villain and a symbol of moral decay within the entertainment industry. The media frenzy amplified the public's perception of him, with little attention paid to the actual facts or the legal process. Movie studios, fearing the damage to their own reputations, distanced themselves from him, and theaters pulled his films from circulation. Religious and civic organizations called for a crackdown on Hollywood's supposed moral failings, further intensifying the pressure. The legal battles became a national spectacle, with Arbuckle facing 3 trials. The first 2 ended in hung juries, while the third resulted in a full acquittal. However, by that point, the damage had been done. The relentless media coverage had transformed a complex, tragic event into a simple morality tale, reshaping how fame, scandal, and public opinion interacted in the American public's consciousness. Arbuckle's career and reputation were left in tatters, and despite his legal victory, he would never regain the status he once enjoyed. The trials that followed Virginia Rappe's death devolved into a disturbing spectacle of character assassination, misinformation, and public hysteria. Both the prosecution and defense launched aggressive campaigns to undermine each other's credibility, turning the courtroom into a theater of scandal. Maud Delmont, the prosecution's key witness and initial accuser, was eventually discredited after it was revealed she had a history of criminal behavior, including blackmail and running a prostitution ring. Her testimony was deemed unreliable, and she was never called to the stand during any of the actual trials. Meanwhile, the defense countered by launching their own assault on Virginia's character. They alleged that she had a troubled sexual history, suffered from chronic health problems including venereal disease, and led a lifestyle that made her susceptible to the kind of injuries she sustained. Though none of these claims were medically confirmed, they were repeated in newspapers and gossip columns nationwide, fueling a misogynistic narrative that blamed the victim for her own death. The result was a public deeply divided. Some saw Arbuckle as a scapegoat for moral outrage, while others viewed him as the symbol of Hollywood's excess and corruption. Ultimately, the truth became obscured under layers of slander and salacious rumor, leaving both the accused and the deceased without dignity in the eyes of many. Amid the sensationalism of the trial, one incident stood out dramatically and shocked everyone involved. Al Semnaker, a guest at the party where the disturbing events took place, presented an affidavit that contained very troubling accusations against Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. In this statement, Semnaker claimed that Arbuckle confessed to inserting a piece of ice into Virginia Rappe's body. He suggested this was an attempt to ease her suffering or revive her, making the claim not only bizarre, but also deeply painful. The courtroom buzzed with disbelief as the audience processed the implications. When Semnaker was called to the stand, he struggled to voice the details, leaving the district attorney to read the statements aloud. This moment reverberated, significantly impacting Arbuckle's reputation. The public's perception shifted dramatically, with many seeing him as guilty based solely on this scandalous claim. The so-called ice testimony illustrated how the trial transcended legal matters, transforming into a public spectacle where sensational claims carried more weight than truth, contributing heavily to Arbuckle's tarnished image in America. The intertwining of his real-life troubles with the entertainment world revealed a grim twist in how celebrity scandals play out under public scrutiny. The legal odyssey that followed Virginia Rappe's death consisted of 3 separate trials, each unfolding with intense media scrutiny and growing public fatigue. During the first trial, filled with inconsistencies, the narrative surrounding the events lacked clarity. It ended in a hung jury, with many jurors leaning toward acquittal. The second trial aimed to provide clarity, but instead deepened the confusion, resulting in another deadlock. By the time the third trial began, the nation had grown weary of the sensational story. The defense made a strategic pivot, emphasizing the absence of medical evidence that directly linked Arbuckle to Rappe's injuries. They also called character witnesses to support Arbuckle's reputation. This time, the jury quickly reached a unanimous verdict. Arbuckle was found not guilty of manslaughter. They even issued a rare written apology, declaring their belief in his complete innocence and acknowledging the injustice he had faced. Despite this legal vindication, the damage to Arbuckle's career and personal life was irreversible. Studios abandoned his projects, and public opinion remained largely hostile. Even though he was cleared in court, Arbuckle never regained the fame, success, or admiration he had once enjoyed. Despite being legally exonerated, Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle's life never returned to its former glory. Branded by scandal and vilified by the public, he found himself effectively blacklisted from major studio productions. Theaters across the country refused to show his films, and many of his earlier works were pulled from circulation altogether. Arbuckle attempted to restart his career under the pseudonym William B. Goodrich, directing a number of short films in the 1930s. But the shadow of the scandal loomed large. Though he retained support from a small circle of loyal friends and colleagues, including Buster Keaton, he struggled with alcoholism, depression, and the pain of public rejection. And in a final twist of fate, just as it seemed Hollywood might be ready to forgive, with Warner Brothers offering him a contract for feature-length sound films, Arbuckle died of a heart attack in 1933 at the age of 46. The tragedy of Roscoe Arbuckle's downfall lies not only in the unresolved questions surrounding Virginia Rappe's death, but also in the way a single moment can destroy a career, a reputation, and a legacy that once seemed unshakable. In the decades following the Arbuckle scandal, historians and legal scholars have taken a deeper look at the case, offering a more balanced perspective based on evidence. They have discovered numerous inconsistencies, biases, and flaws in the procedures of the original investigations and trials. Access to court records, medical reports, and media coverage from that time has shed light on the prosecution's lack of credible evidence regarding allegations of sexual assault or intentional violence. While Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle's actions at a party with illegal alcohol during Prohibition and his presence in a locked room with Virginia Rappe, who was unwell, raised moral questions, significant proof connecting him to the injuries that led to her death is absent. The media, eager for sensational stories, played a key role in creating a narrative of guilt before any legal conclusion was made. Scholars increasingly assert that Arbuckle became a scapegoat during a time when society sought to hold Hollywood accountable for its supposed moral decline. This reassessment acknowledges his poor judgment, but portrays him as a victim of societal hysteria, political aspirations, and a media landscape more focused on sensationalism than on uncovering the truth. In recent discussions surrounding Virginia Rappe's life, a more nuanced understanding emerges from the shadows of her tarnished legacy. Initially depicted in the media with labels that painted her as promiscuous and troubled, Rappe became a victim of relentless defamation after her tragic death. These attacks emanated from courtroom strategies aimed at defending Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle and an insatiable appetite for scandal by the press. Rather than focusing on her talents and aspirations, the narratives twisted her into a caricature that stripped away her humanity and potential. Virginia was, in truth, a self-made woman who faced significant challenges in her early life. Despite this, she aspired to make a mark in the entertainment industry, showcasing elegance and ambition in both fashion and film. Her determination to thrive in a male-dominated environment set her apart, illustrating her as more than just a casualty of sensationalism. The simplistic portrayal during the trials overshadowed her complex character and dreams. When she passed, the legacies crafted by others silenced her voice, sacrificing her story for the sake of protecting Arbuckle and catering to public intrigue. However, as discussions evolve, her narrative is reframed through a compassionate perspective that honors her as an individual whose life was cut short by circumstances far beyond her control, restoring her dignity and allowing her true ambitions to be recognized. The fallout from the Arbuckle scandal shook Hollywood to its core, reverberating throughout the entertainment industry. As public outrage and moral condemnation grew, studios began to grasp that the conduct of their stars could no longer be overlooked as merely a private affair. Audiences started to connect the personal lives of actors with the broader values of Hollywood, and the scandal posed a substantial risk to both credibility and profitability. This environment led to a significant shift in how studios approached talent management. In a bid to protect their image, studios began inserting morals clauses into contracts. These clauses allowed them to sever ties or impose penalties on actors whose behavior, legal or otherwise, could potentially harm the studio's reputation. This moment marked a pivotal shift in Hollywood's narrative, ushering in a new era focused on managing both personal behavior and public perception. The Arbuckle case served as a cautionary tale, illustrating how celebrity actions could dramatically influence their careers and the fate of the entire industry. It also highlighted the complex interplay between fame, morality, and the relentless eye of media scrutiny. Ultimately, the events surrounding Virginia Rappe and Fatty Arbuckle in Room 1219 leave many questions unanswered. The mixture of alcohol, personal accounts, and public interest shaped a narrative that was as complex as it was tragic. The different testimonies create a fog of uncertainty about what exactly happened that night. This case not only highlights the vulnerability of individuals in social situations, but also shows how quickly reputations can be tarnished when mystery swirls around a tragedy. As days went by, the media frenzy amplified the stakes, leading to a sensational trial that captivated the nation. In the end, this story of lost life and the quest for truth serves as a reminder of the impact of individual choices and the complicated nature of human interactions. The quest for clarity continues to resonate, leaving many to ponder the reality of that fateful night and its broader implications. As we wrap up our look at the fascinating life of Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle, there's a delightful treat waiting just around the corner. Buckle up for a journey back to 1917, when Arbuckle starred in his iconic short film, Coney Island. In this lively gem, he brought to life the raucous energy and spirit of America's most famous amusement destination, blending slapstick comedy with heartwarming moments that beautifully showcase his talent. The short's vibrant depiction of the bustling boardwalk, filled with playful interactions and amusing antics, is a testament to Arbuckle's ability to capture both the humor and the charm of the era. Get ready to dive deeper into Coney Island, exploring not only its standout moments but also how Arbuckle's charismatic performance made it a cornerstone of silent film comedy. Trust me, you won't want to miss the unforgettable scenes that left audiences in stitches and cemented Arbuckle's place in cinematic history. In examining Roscoe Arbuckle's 1917 short film Coney Island, it's clear this piece stands out, not just for its entertainment value, but also for its significance in the evolving landscape of early cinema. The film showcases Arbuckle's adept direction against the vibrant backdrop of Luna Park, a popular amusement venue in New York City. The choice of location allowed for a visually captivating setting, which was a hallmark of films produced at Keystone Studios, where Arbuckle was a cherished figure. Critics have hailed Coney Island as one of Arbuckle's best works, and it is easy to see why. The film revolves around Arbuckle's character, Fatty, who is embroiled in a chaotic pursuit of Buster Keaton's girlfriend. This familiar trope of romantic entanglement is elevated by the movie's innovative portrayal of amusement park rides, notably the Witching Waves, which became iconic in their own right. The inclusion of such rides not only enhances the film's appeal, but also gives audiences a glimpse into the past, showcasing a slice of life that resonates with nostalgia today. While Arbuckle's comedic focus on cross-dressing, a popular tactic in early comedy, provides humorous moments, it also raises eyebrows. In a scene where Fatty cleverly addresses the audience, playfully breaking the fourth wall while changing out of his bathing suit, the blend of humor and voyeurism pushes boundaries. This moment illustrates how Arbuckle was not just following the comedic norms of the time, but was instead redefining them, showcasing a level of sophistication in his directing style. On the flip side, the film's reliance on stereotypes and the recurring motif of the philandering male might draw criticism from contemporary audiences. Some might argue that such portrayals detract from the film's narrative strength and resort to outdated cliches. Additionally, while some admire the frenetic pace and the wit woven throughout, others may feel that the rapid transitions can detract from character development and emotional engagement. Buster Keaton's presence in the film also deserves mention. His evolution as a film actor is palpable in this short, demonstrating not only his comedic timing, but also his growing capability for physical humor. Critics laud his performance, recognizing how Keaton's subtle expressions add depth to the comedic scenarios, making the film more than just a simple farce. In conclusion, Coney Island is a multifaceted work that showcases the talents of both Arbuckle and Keaton, blending visual innovation with comedic exploration. While it has its quirks that might not sit well with every viewer, the film's historical context and its role in the evolution of cinema cannot be overlooked. Arbuckle succeeded in crafting a humorous narrative that stands as a testament to an era of filmmaking that sought to entertain while simultaneously pushing the boundaries of comedic storytelling. In the delightful 1917 short film The Butcher Boy, Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle showcases his remarkable talent for physical comedy and expressive antics. Set in a whimsical small-town environment, this charming silent film tells the story of a butcher shop worker who finds himself in a series of hilarious mishaps while trying to impress a young woman. Arbuckle shines as a lovable, bumbling character whose larger-than-life expressions and comedic timing bring a refreshing energy to the narrative. What stands out in The Butcher Boy is Arbuckle's ability to blend slapstick humor with an underlying sweetness. His character's misadventures, ranging from butcher-related blunders to outlandish misunderstandings, keep viewers on the edge of their seats, laughing at every blunder while rooting for his charming, yet clumsy, pursuit of love. Arbuckle's physicality elevates the film. His size and clever use of props create a vivid comedic landscape that still resonates today. This short encapsulates the golden age of silent films, where physical expressions spoke volumes. Arbuckle's role not only highlights his comedic genius, but also serves as a reminder of a time when cinema was brimming with innovative storytelling through humor, leaving viewers both entertained and nostalgic. The Butcher Boy is a gem that exemplifies Arbuckle's lasting influence on comedy and film. The film The Butcher Boy, featuring Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle, has garnered a variety of responses, each highlighting different aspects of this silent comedy. Some viewers have found joy in Arbuckle's physical comedy and charm, appreciating his ability to engage the audience through expressive gestures and a charismatic screen presence. There's a notable affection for his quirky movements, such as the way he handles a butcher's knife or rolls a cigarette, which contribute to a humorous portrayal of his character. Critics often mention the simplistic nature of the plot, which revolves around Arbuckle and his rival alum vying for the affection of Almondine, the store owner's daughter. This rivalry leads to a series of comedic situations, first set in a store, and later escalating to a girls' school after a chaotic food fight. While plot depth may not be the highlight, it serves as a vehicle for Arbuckle's antics, and the gags throughout the film, including slapstick moments like food fights and mistaken identities. Despite its comedic offerings, some reviews point out that not all elements succeeded in delivering consistent laughter. While many found the humor charming, with particular praise given to individual gags, such as a dog running a pepper mill or Arbuckle interacting playfully with his on-screen counterpart, there are viewers who felt the overall impact fell short when compared to Arbuckle's later works, or those of his contemporaries like Buster Keaton. There's a general consensus on Keaton's debut performance being a highlight, as his acrobatic skills and unique expressions added another layer of comedy and excitement, even eliciting genuine laughter in unexpected moments. As the narrative unfolds, the film leans heavily into corny, classic comic tropes, including exaggerated physical comedy. Some viewers embraced these elements wholeheartedly and noted their nostalgic charm, while others viewed them as somewhat outdated. They appreciated the technical execution of these comedic set pieces, but questioned whether they were sufficient to sustain engagement throughout the film. The film invites a nuanced perspective. On one hand, it is recognized for its entertainment value and Arbuckle's engaging performance. On the other, some criticize its reliance on superficial humor and its lack of a gripping story. Ultimately, many found The Butcher Boy endearing enough to earn a positive rating, as its light-hearted nature stirred smiles, even if it didn't always deliver outright laughter. In summary, The Butcher Boy stands as a testament to early cinema comedy, but reflects the duality of viewer experiences, where charm and skill are praised alongside critiques of its storytelling and humor. The film encapsulates a particular era that resonates with some while feeling slightly dated to others, a fitting homage to Arbuckle's early contributions to the genre, and a foretaste of the comedic evolution that would follow. Goodnight, Nurse is a delightful 1918 short film that showcases the comedic genius of Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. In this lively romp, Arbuckle plays a role that perfectly aligns with his reputation for physical comedy and slapstick antics. The plot centers around a series of increasingly ridiculous mishaps that ensue when Arbuckle, a bumbling yet well-meaning character, gets caught up in chaotic situations at a hospital. What makes this short particularly captivating is how it blends a classic framework of misunderstandings with Arbuckle's signature larger-than-life persona. The film is filled with expertly timed gags and a sense of whimsical madness that keeps audiences laughing. Even a century later, Arbuckle's charm shines as he navigates through a cast of eccentric characters, embracing the absurdity of each scenario. His trademark farcical style takes center stage. In Goodnight, Nurse, Arbuckle not only delivers side-splitting humor, but also reflects the palpable energy of the silent film era. The creative storytelling and playful visuals make this piece a fascinating watch, providing a nostalgic glimpse into early 20th century cinema while highlighting Arbuckle's undeniable talent. It's a fun exploration of comedy that has influenced generations of filmmakers and remains a spirited reminder of Arbuckle's genius. The short film, Goodnight, Nurse, offers a remarkable blend of humor, slapstick, and a questionable take on serious themes, particularly regarding alcohol and its treatment. The comedic brilliance is evident from the outset, most notably in the rain-soaked opening sequence that showcases some of the best portrayals of drunken antics in early cinema. Arbuckle's comical struggles, including his futile attempts to light a cigarette as the rain pours down, highlight the absurdity of the situation. The interactions between Arbuckle and Buster Keaton, who amusingly appears as a woman wielding an umbrella in the storm, are particularly entertaining, capturing the chaos of the moment. As the narrative progresses, Arbuckle's character grapples with the shenanigans dictated by the ludicrous premise of seeking a cure for alcoholism at the No Hope Sanitarium. The juxtaposition of hope and despair is cleverly illustrated when Arbuckle encounters a disgruntled patient, a wounded man proclaiming his cure, lending a dark comedic twist to the resolution of alcoholism. The film walks a thin line as it employs slapstick humor, juxtaposed with elements that, today, would be considered politically incorrect. While some of the humor resonates well and remains astute, there are scenes that might not sit comfortably with modern audiences. For instance, the second half features typical slapstick routines, including pillow fights that erupt into a cloud of feathers. Yet within these moments, amusingly absurd bits unfold, such as Arbuckle's accidental disguise as a female nurse, and the subsequent awkward flirting with Dr. Keaton. Such moments serve to illustrate the film's broader themes, revealing the absurdities of life and the lengths to which one might go to escape dire circumstances. Certain viewers express concern about the film's portrayal of sensitive topics, arguing that the humor derived from drunkenness and mental instability may be viewed as offensive or trivializing. Critics suggest that these elements could distract from appreciating the technical craftsmanship at play, notably Arbuckle's graceful physicality throughout the film. However, many find that these very aspects contribute to the film's charm and playfulness, making it an enjoyable experience despite, or perhaps because of, the underlying moral ambiguities. Ultimately, Goodnight Nurse stands as a testament to the era's cinematic style, blending dizzying humor with insightful commentary on societal issues. It encapsulates a moment in film history where slapstick ruled, and its characters, though flawed, remain deeply engaging. Arbuckle and Keaton's comedic duo presents a blend of lightness and uncertainty that resonates across generations, affirming the film's significance while sparking conversations around its themes and cultural impact, both in the past and present.